Good evening and a warm welcome to the State of Business on our television. I'm Nishani Pigera. A look at the headlines first. 2017, a positive year for shipping industry, says CEO of Colombo Shippers Academy. And GMOA planning trade union action if extra duty allowance is not revised. In tonight's main story, the CEO of Colombo Shippers Academy, Rohan Masakorala, says that 2017 was a positive year for the shipping industry as the capacity of ship arrivals to the island has increased. Masakorala also stated that the 2018 budget has a special focus on expanding logistic capabilities of the country to develop the shipping industry. Speaking further during an exclusive interview with our television, Rohan Masakorala also emphasized upon the need to regulate the shipping industry in order to attract more foreign direct investments.
All the big ships in the world, that is going up to 20,000 TEU vessels, are calling Port of Colombo. So the capacity of ship arrivals also have increased over the last 3 to 4 years, and this trend is going to be continued according to market surveys. Compared to global logistics centers, Sri Lanka has not yet developed its infrastructure, the legal environment, and government has really not put enough focus over the years. But now this new budget proposals definitely talks of expanding these logistics capabilities of the country to actually that is where the real advantage the country has. Beyond shipping, we have a locational advantage to provide greater logistics services to the Indian Ocean. So we need to put the proper infrastructure, proper legal structures, and also develop human capacity and open up the industry for international companies to come and set up operations here. So we have been backward, but we have the greatest opportunity to be the logistics center of the Indian subcontinent. Not only shipping, freight forwarding also has been proposed to be liberalized fully. That means that ship owners as well as logistics companies, global companies, can come and set up their own operations here, and they are free to operate, free to invest, and free to take out profits. This is the basic concept of the logistics and shipping liberalization. So I've been always a proponent of liberalization for competition, better competition, and for global companies to come and set up their operations here, and laterally they will also come and put up their headquarters if we are a free economy as we are supposed to be. So we cannot have controls and protectionism to invite global players. So it has to be an open field, just like our neighbors all have opened up their shipping and logistics industries, and all the hubs in the world also have opened up the shipping and logistics industry. So it's a positive move by the government to invite global companies to come and set up here.
Speaking further, the CEO of Colombo Shippers Academy, Rohan Masakorala, said that the shipping sector expects a double-digit growth in intra-Asia trade by next year, as it is considered as a key area for trade growth. Masakorala also briefed about the freedom of navigation in Sri Lanka.
Intra-Asia trade is gradually growing. Actually, it is forecasted to be the fastest growing sector in the world trade because of economic expansion of China, Indonesia, the ASEAN sector, as well as India's growth. So we are expecting over the next decade double-digit growth in the intra-Asia trade, and even the shipping sector has identified this as a key area for trade growth. In the Bay of Bengal itself, there is no trade between the countries among the Bay of Bengal, but again, this has come to limelight now with the east coast of India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, all as well as Sri Lanka being a locationally advantaged place. There is a lot of talk of development of trade among the region. So Bay of Bengal also is expected to grow at about 8 to 7% growth over the next decade of trade. We are very positive in terms of intra-Asia trade, definitely, because the population centers are in Asia, and all these countries are growing at 6-7% annually, which means they are creating a middle class, which means they are creating a new demand and supply for international trade. As a country, to look at further liberalizing this area, also to come up with some kind of agreements with coastal shipping with countries like Bangladesh. Right now there is a discussion with Bangladesh of opening up a coastal shipping agreement. India also has liberalized its coastal shipping arrangements with Bangladesh, and there is potential to expand this area for passenger traffic between India and Sri Lanka and India and Bangladesh, and that will also lead for some kind of cargo movement, informal cargo that is moving around the Indian Ocean can be brought through the liberalization of coastal shipping. But this is a bit of a longer term proposal because it will take some time to go through. Generally, the freedom of navigation is not a problem in the Indian Ocean, but in the long run we think that due to geopolitical reasons we need to have a kind of a guidelines of how best we facilitate ship operators in the Indian Ocean so that they don't have future problems like what is happening in the South China Sea or anything like that.
Do stay with us for more news on the other side of this break. Welcome back. You're watching The State of Business. Speaking at a press conference held in Colombo today, the Secretary of the Government Medical Officers Association, Dr. Harith Alutke, stated that the General and Executive Committees of the GMOA have decided to engage in a trade union action in 2 weeks if the Health Ministry does not take necessary action to revise the extra duty allowance of medical officers island-wide.
Today our press conference was based on the due extra duty revision for the medical officers who are serving everywhere in the country, and going back to the history of the extra duty allowance, this allowance was granted to the medical officers by the government of His Excellency the President J.R. Jayawardena. At that time the Health Minister was Honorable Ranjit Atapattu, and based on the special circumstances prevailing in the medical services and the duties of the medical officers, then government decided to introduce the new allowance for the medical officers, that is the extra duty allowance. That is compared with the this overtime allowance for the other officers in the health department and elsewhere in the other departments and the other ministries. This extra duty allowance was based on the basic salary of the medical officers, and every time when the basic salary was increased, the revision of the extra duty allowance was also taken place. But unfortunately, after this 2016 3 circular, which has increased the basic salary of all the government servants, the Health Ministry up to now has not taken any steps to increase the extra duty allowance for medical officers. We have made representations to the Health Secretary regarding the same issue more than 10 times, and we have requested meetings from the Health Secretary without any success. Therefore, the GMO General Committee and the Executive Committee has decided to give 2 weeks time to the Health Secretary to proceed with it and forward his recommendations to the relevant authorities so that we can proceed with the extra duty revision. If the Health Secretary is unable to implement these proposals made by the Government Medical Officers Association, we will be compelled to go for a trade union action in early January 2018, in next month. It will be an all-island trade union action, and we hope that the Health Secretary will attend to the this revision of extra duty allowance of medical officers to prevent any trade union action in January by GMOA.
Speaking at a press conference held in Colombo today, Minister of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Development and State Minister of Mahaweli Development, Mahinda Amarveer, stated that a number of parties have pledged to support the United People's Freedom Alliance in the upcoming local government polls, and that a meeting in this regard will be held on the 28th.
28 වෙනි දින එක්සත් ජනතා නිදහස් සන්ධානයේ සහෝදර පක්ෂ සමග එළඹෙන මැතිවරණය පිළිබඳව එකඟතාවයකට පැමිණීමට අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ ප්‍රධානත්වයෙන් බණ්ඩාරනායක සම්මන්ත්‍රණ ශාලාවේදී උදෑසන සමාරම්භක අවස්ථාවක් සනිටුහන් වෙනවා. පක්ෂ ගණනාවක් ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂය, ඒ වගේම තොණ්ඩමන් මැතිතුමාගේ පක්ෂය, අතාවුල්ල මැතිතුමාගේ පක්ෂය, ඩග්ලස් දේවානන්ද මැතිතුමාගේ පක්ෂය ඇතුළු පක්ෂ ගණනාවක් ඒ සඳහා සහභාගී වෙනවා. ඉදිරි මැතිවරණය වෙනුවෙන් අපේ සන්ධානයේ ඒ පක්ෂ ප්‍රතිඥාවක් සමගින් ඉදිරියේ කටයුතු කිරීම පිළිබඳව එකඟතාවයකට එළඹීමයි බලාපොරොත්තු. ජනාධිපතිතුමා අදහස් කරන ආකාරයට පිරිසුදු පළාත් පාලන ආයතනයක් බිහි කිරීම සඳහා දැනටමත් අපිත් සමග සන්ධානගත වී සිටින පක්ෂත්, ඒ වගේම අපිට සමග එකඟතාවයෙන් කටයුතු කරන පක්ෂත් සියල්ලම එකඟ වෙලා තිබෙනවා. අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ඉතාමත් පිරිසුදු පළාත් පාලන ආයතනයක් බිහි කිරීම සඳහා සියලුම දෙනා ඒකාබද්ධව කටයුතු කරන්න හැකියාව ලැබේ කියලා.
Let's take a look at how the stocks performed today after this short break. Welcome back to the show. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The All Share Price Index gained 26.56 points to close at 6,350.3, and the S&P SL 20 gained 21.26 points to close at 3,671.17. Turnover was 153.8 million rupees and 28.8 million shares were traded. And now let's take a look at the day's foreign exchange rates. And that's all the news we have for you tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow at the same time. Until then, thank you for joining us. Good night.